So today I was going to go live. I'm sorry, not live. I was just going to record a video to my YouTube channel because I'm really trying to make a practice of hearing my voice and seeing myself and familiarizing myself with that process of recording because I want to be consistent and I want to become better and better at articulating my views. I have a lot of wisdom and I know that the divine has been pushing me hard to express myself publicly. I have a lot of knowledge that I've acquired throughout this spiritual journey, and I feel very passionate about helping other people, especially those that deem themselves as chosen ones. I very much resonate with the experience of a chosen one. And it's so funny because today there were a bunch of things that transpired in my life. Why am I saying in my life? There are a bunch of things that transpired today specifically that were really pulling on my emotions in a way where I couldn't really get grounded. I kept trying to do things to put myself in a state where I had just trust in the divine and I wasn't bombarded by what could potentially happen in the future based on certain things that are going on with my post-divorce case, which has been just unbelievably strenuous. And another event happened that stressed me out, and I just didn't feel well enough to kind of go online and post my video. I felt like my thoughts were kind of all over the place. Even now as I'm recording, I still kind of don't feel necessarily grounded. But I felt it was important to record because it's my way of fighting back. I know that the devil is using these type of events to create chaos in my life so that I don't feel grounded enough to share these messages. And that's why I'm fighting back. And I do have a message that I was ready to record today. So I wrote it down, and what I'm going to do is go and find it because it's very important that I get these messages out there to all of the light workers and chosen ones that are on this path. We can't give in to the illusions. And I have to keep reminding myself that all these things that are occurring are illusions meant to intimidate me and to move me away from feeling confident in the Most High, knowing that my angels and my spirit team are always working for me behind the scene, and they're working for all of us to ensure that we are protected, even if it may not seem that way. And even when things go in ways that we don't deem as ideal as I've experienced so many times, specifically throughout this spiritual awakening process. There have been so many things that I've just been like bombarded by and been like, how is it that God can allow this to happen? And it would seem as though certain people that are your enemies are getting away with the malicious attacks, the smear campaigns, the extortion. Oh, the extortion is such a big one for me. I mean, this whole divorce has been used as a legal way of extorting me of everything. My entire business, all of my, all the financial stability that I had acquired has been utilized against me and has been just a source of tremendous stress. And each time that I was under the view that it was being stolen from me. And I had kind of accepted and let it go. I actually let go of the idea that I could like have my apartment complex anymore. I let go of the idea that I could have my house, because the judicial system ruled very unfavorably against me. And it didn't matter what evidence I provided. The judge was still adamant about ensuring that I not be able to yield the benefits of my inheritance, of what God had given me, of what I had worked my entire, 13 to 15 years building and managing, and allowing for my narcissistic ex-husband to be able to benefit from all of my hard work. And the judicial system did nothing but assist him in doing so. And I kind of accepted that I didn't really need to have the material wealth anymore, because I had recognized through this experience that God would open other doors for me, and that I just have the trust and the faith that I will be able to build something wonderful and magnificent all over again. Because at the end of the day, as chosen ones with our gifts, we have so many different gifts. So we are endowed with the innate attributes to attract wealth, and to attract people that would connect us with the avenues for acquiring wealth. So that's something that's an understanding that I gained along this spiritual path. And I know I'm really talking about a lot of different things, but I'm just kind of speaking from my heart right now. So bear with me if I sound a little all over the place. So I guess what I'm saying is I wasn't worried too much about being able to extract or salvage, the wealth from what I had formerly built with my real estate. So I had already accepted, after this divorce, that everything would, I wouldn't really get what I thought I would get, but I would just take what I needed and then move on, and this would all be over. Well, that didn't happen. As of today, I'm going back for a second hearing whereby my ex-spouse's attorney is basically trying to get me in trouble with the judge again, because I'm not engaging in the sale of the apartment complex, which, by the way, was granted to me in a manner that he deems is compliant, I guess is the word. He's trying to make it seem as though I am going against what the judge ordered last week. And what the judge ordered last week, by the way, was that I take on an additional $125,000 out of my profit share. And so that my ex-spouse benefits to the tune of like $250,000 as a profit, and I only get 83 because I have to take on more debt. So basically, last week the judge ruled that I would receive far less of a share on the basis that I was behind on my payments, and that because I was behind on my payments, that should come out of my share of the profit. Like, have you ever heard of something so insidious and crazy? And you see, that's why these phone calls are coming in right now, because they're trying to distract me from telling this truth. But it goes to show you how crooked the judicial system is, that a judge could make a ruling like that. And the judge made a ruling like that knowing that I am in serious debt as a result of a lot of the issues that incurred throughout my divorce process and the separation, and all the ways that my ex-spouse sabotaged the business and my financial stability, because I had made that known for years during this trial. So he's aware of that. And in addition to that, he was also made aware of it prior, maybe a couple of days earlier, that I actually had to move from Tampa to live with my aunt in New Jersey because I had no place to live and I had no job and no income. And the reason why I had no income is because I sold my apartment complex, which was generating the income. So the judge is privy to all this information, and yet instead of ruling in a manner that was more, mutually fair in terms of allocating the cost of the business, the cost of doing business, because mortgage, tax, and insurance, all of those things are costs of goods. So, they're similar to like cost of goods sold. So how on earth would that be a line item that would be taken out of owner's equity instead of taken out of the actual expenses of the business? Because this is a business. And he made a ruling like that to the tune of $125K. How do you tax someone with $125K who's already in significant debt, who has 2 children, and does not have a means of taking care of herself? Like this is the type of thing that these ridiculous beings who are clearly working for the enemy do to harm the chosen ones. But what we have to understand is that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. So as I record this message and tell you this, I also want you to know that I understand that God has a plan where these people will be judged and they will be taken care of by the Most High. And we as chosen ones have to call down righteous judgment on these beings when we are made aware of the ways in which they are operating, and they're not operating in divine light. And it's important that we call them out and expose them for who they are. So that is my message. If it resonates with any of you, I hope it does. I hope other people are inspired by this message, and I hope that you recognize that the Most High is always working in our favor, and I inspire you to share your message as well.